Here I am working on a Sunday of all times. Jeez, no wonder I can't get anything done. But the only thing good about it is I'm out here in Elkhorn. And what do you do when you're out in Elkhorn? Well, you stop to check out some stuff. Well, let's go in. Yeah, that's good. So what was this again?
This is a 1909 Hubmobile Roadster. This features a nice gold, black, and yellow design. One was also used in the very first ever Super Bowl during its halftime show. I'm pretty certain. Going back to Isaac, in the 60s, a group approached him and asked him if he could open a museum using at least half of the cars in his collection. He agreed, and the place opened in 67, and unfortunately 4 years later he passed away in 71. The rest of his collection was given over by his friend Marguerite Atwood, and here they stand since then. Along with anything else we got in via donations.
That is wild.
As you already saw over there, we've got a nice bottle collection and set of model cars. Despite the fact that I work at a car museum, my favorite bit is our bottle collection.
What year of models are those? Like old style, like from the 70s or 60s?
It's all over the place. We've got stuff like your 1910s, 20s, 30s.
Yeah.
All over the spectrum, really.
Like old Johans and stuff.
Yeah. Over here are a handful of McLaurins. You'll know McLaurin today as the Buick brand. Canadian as well.
Please do not touch. Oh, you'll never see that on my cars.
Behind these McLaurins, you'll see a collection of license plates from all across Manitoba, as well as a couple from the States. Your personal favorite ones are the ones of the territories because they're in the shape of polar bears.
Yeah. You imagine changing tires like that back in the day?
Nope. This is one of our major attractions. This is 1930 Rn Coupe. It's in great condition. It's got a nice paint job, massive headlights, and there are only 2 of these fully restored in the world. The other one's over in Florida somewhere.
Florida.
Yeah, there could be other ones in middling or mediocre condition, but as far as being top like this goes, 2 in the world.
Yeah, I'd imagine somebody's got something in a barn somewhere.
Yeah.
Sure, Richard Ray Rollins or one of those guys will find it eventually. Nice.
There might be 3 in the world.
What is the story on the piano? That's wild. Never seen a piano like that.
This here is an EMF 30 touring car. EMF stands for Everett Metzger Flanders, which is believed to be a collaboration between 3 brands, seeing as Flanders is its own. And I know I read this somewhere, but I forget where. People who own this car like to call this the early morning fix because the sound of the engine in the morning was as much of a kick to the senses as a cup of coffee.
So this is an old same engine?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Whereas when we put it there.
So just take the head right off. That's pretty cool. Crank style. Ooh, I have one of these spark plugs. And it still works.
Touch.
It still works.
If you touch it, you're going to work here for the rest of your life.
Hey?
If you touch it, you got to work here for the rest of your life. That's why I've been here for 6 years.
Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. I need a retirement place.
This here's our handful of Overlands. I don't have too much commentary on these, and I keep getting their backstory wrong. Sometimes they'll say it's predecessor to Jeep, sometimes they'll say it's owned by a company called Kaiser Motors, and I'm wrong both times.
Oh yeah.
Moving on from those is 1883 Hearse. This was horse-drawn and used for snow travel, hence the sled design below. You'll also notice that if the curtains are black, that means an adult died in it. Hearses, just for context, being funeral vehicles. And if the curtains were white, then a child perished in it. Which you ask me is quite morbid if you showed everybody your kid died.
Yeah. White's for angels, right? And black's for whatever. I forget.
Like that, I suppose. This here's a Model T4. We've got a bunch of these around the place, but I wanted to highlight this in particular because the one, as you can see by the back, it's been completely taken out and turned into a pickup truck using a wooden box. This is used to haul cream over to the local creamery before it closed down. And over here is a 1946 cabin car.
Ooh.
Nice, cozy, you know, for all your camping needs.
Well, they're starting to bring this design back now,
Yep.
I've noticed. Yeah. Fresh air intake. So that would fold down as a bed, I'm
Yep.
assuming, and then that's just storage.
Something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And hauling our cabin car here is our 47 Dodge Coupe. This is only driven in the, this was never driven in the winter, so it's in stellar condition.
I got a couple buddies that have these, but they don't look like that anymore.
Also over here is our handful of Studebakers, about like 5 of these? 5-ish?
Studs.
6 in total, I think. We also got a Studebaker Champion on the other side of this haul.
Beautiful studs.
Yeah, except for this one.
Ah, you like that color though.
No! Quite the opposite, actually.
Mint green.
You can tell someone did a custom job on it too. I think that's the part that hurts the most, that someone wanted it to look like that. This truck used to have a wooden box, but our restoration people, when they grabbed it, they replaced it with a metallic one. Which is why there's a nice discrepancy between the picture and the vehicle itself.
Yeah. Well, wood's impractical. Got a couple old trucks, like
Yeah. That's what you could do at the time.
yeah,
Metal was pretty expensive.
hard to manufacture back then too. Now it's cheap.
Yeah. This here Studebaker I quite like though. This one is clocking over 78,000 miles on its travels. It was made in 1929, so that's quite impressive. Unless it's actually made in 1928 and they already decided to be like a year ahead with their marketing. That always bothered me with newer cars. You get a car now, it's like, oh, it's a 2022 Subaru.
Well, my work truck out front, they're sitting at 520,000 kilometers, so that'll be a million-mile truck eventually.
Eventually. This here is a 64 Cadillac Imperial. Very nice, very sleek. This is only driven on the weekends. Selected coupe, great condition. And also features very comfy seats. Well, my boss is going to attest to that.
Yeah, there's a couple of these that are up for sale actually out in Brandon right now. So if you ever want to get one,
And if we ever get the space for it,
hey?
if we ever get the space for it, as you can tell, this place is pretty chock full.
Oh yeah. Not a bad price. It's actually a 2-for-1. It's got 2 of them. You can build one out of both or whatever.
This car here is possibly my favorite design of all of our collection. This is the 74 Thunderbird. Nice black and red exterior and a beautiful crimson red interior.
And they float on the highway like nice.
Yeah. However, of all things, this over here is my favorite vehicle. The Case Company was known for making tractors at the time, and still are. They decided to throw their hats in the car manufacturing ring because that was the big fad at the time. So they decided to make vehicles like the Model 30 here. There are only 5 of these altogether left in North America. This could potentially be worth a lot. Do not get any ideas. And for lack of a better word, this thing is a survivor. This has never had any real touch-ups. This is completely as it's been through over the course of time. Also, it has what's referred to as battleship grade design because it is heavy.
Oh yeah.
You can just take a look at it and think about like just how hard it would be to lift up any weight whatsoever. I mean, this car is never lifted, but I'm bad with analogies today.
Oh, look at the copper in there. Don't do it like that no more.
Over here's a 78 F-150. I'm pretty sure this is the most newest car or vehicle we've got in sight, but you may notice the front's a bit different. That's because one of our restoration guys ended up using the front from a different F-150 to put onto there.
Yep.
Had lots of debates over that one, let me tell you. Oh no, it's a 79. And then I tried to register it, it's a 78. Here is our one big open wheel on site. This is the Coronado. It's so big that you could probably fit another set of 2 seats where the engine is.
Yeah, I almost bought one of these years ago.
Yeah. Also behind me here is a Willys Overland Jeep. This one still operates, and we actually still actively use this because the tow cable still works. We use that to haul around any vehicles around here that aren't working, so that we can get moving done. And if you're running a ratio of how many vehicles work, roughly 15 to 20 out of our collection do, and we roll those ones out for our annual candidate parade. Of course, not when there's a pandemic running about.
Oh, you're safe inside the car. It's good. As long as you've got a Canada Day parade going on and you're inside the car, it's good.
I guess, but I guess I just didn't feel like doing it this year.
There's some old school stuff.
Yeah.
I remember, I don't want to date myself, but I remember using those. I do believe. Yeah.
Very nice. Very sweet.
I might have actually seen this car at Corn and Apple Fest one year. I'll have to double check that. I just recognize.
I had touring said that they used to own one of these too. So that's a
okay.
coincidence that people have history with this. Both of the tours I get for the day.
Yeah.
This is a 59 Volvo. You'll still see Volvos around today, just not too often because they're very expensive, but because they're very high quality.
Yeah.
I've heard they're like the safest car money can buy if you can afford it.
And they're still using that symbol to this day. Their little symbol, they use that with the heavy equipment now.
I mean, Volvo still makes like
my kind of car right here.
Yeah. Also, I've mentioned two are true hauling things. One's a proper wagon, and one's an actual truck. Both of them can be used for hauling literally anything you ever wanted. Chickens, people, luggage, cargo. This one in particular is a white 3/4 ton truck.
The old bikes, the old gas pump. Look at this.
And this here's a half-ton Esso fuel truck. Shout out for local Esso, by the way. People who went there are super duper nice. On top of the tank here, you'll see all sorts of different gas station products like antifreeze from Shell or motor oil from Gulf.
Like I said, this is one of my kind of cars. I got two of these. One a rag top, and the other one's 300 Sport Condition.
I forgot to mention, I forgot to bring out this one.
Oh, yeah.
Most of my coworkers can say this is their favorite car. Of course, I have weird taste in like the rust bucket over there. But most of my coworkers will say this one's their favorite. The 1955 Pepper. Not too much history with this one, but as you can tell, it's a super nice looking car. Pretty resemblant. It's a pretty good representation of the era it was made in. And even if it collects dust, you can't tell.
Yep.
They'll shine all day to the end of the world.
Yeah, those Packards are nice.
Here.
That's bad Chad Hills kind of car right there.
I bet you, like, if your face ever falls down when it's in a junkyard, it'll still shine as much as it does now.
It's all that lead paint.
Yeah. This over here is a 1922 fire truck. This belonged to the city of Winnipeg and was used for plenty of years despite its age. Alongside it, you can also see various sorts of gas station equipment like firefighting equipment, my bad, including gas masks, hoses, lights, and jackets and helmets behind it.
Look at that.
Ignore the darkness. The lights just decide they want to stop working for a second every now and then. Then they click back on like nothing happened. We've had people look at it and they can't even figure it out.
Beauty.
I bet you it has something to do with it personally.
Look at that interior.
This is a 39 Hudson, also pretty bulky. And again, representative of its time. And next to it is a Cadillac Eldorado. Inside the stands are a little higher than the others, so it looks like an action shot. On the side opposite of those cars is a collection of different bits of farming equipment. Mowers, weed whackers, grain elevators, farming mills. Over here is some bits dedicated to blacksmithing. Including a massive set of bellows here.
Yeah. I got some of these tools. These things here look menacing, so me and my buddies were planning on doing like a, you know, kind of like a really underground horror film.
Like a B-movie?
Yeah.
That'd be cute.
Oh, it'd be fun.
Yeah.
Look at the size of those blowers. Jeez.
I keep forgetting this one's old, so I keep wanting whenever I say the one over there is the one we've got. I never crack streaks sometimes.
So much here. Hard to remember everything.
That's true. This here's a custom, or this is a Cadillac truck that belonged to Custom Auto Body before it got into Isaac Clarkson's hands.
Cadillac Truck.
And next to it over here is 1962 Rambler American Custom Edition. These were not very popular vehicles because their parent company was a jack of trades, master of none. Not very high quality products like this one here. You can also tell this one has had some nice brush painting on it. It is worth saying though that a Rambler is probably one of the closest things you think of when you think station wagon.
Yeah. But they're sought after vehicles now. If you can find one in good shape.
Yeah.
They make all kinds of weird stuff out of them, hot rods and whatnot.
Here's a Ford Galaxy. Sign on there just for a little bit of fun. And this here's our trio of Dodges, or otherwise referred to as Dodge Brothers back in the day. You may notice looking at the logo here that it might resemble that of the Star of David, the Jewish symbol. So I've had people ask me last year if that was the case, if the brothers were Jewish. They were not. What this is actually... My voice cracked there. What this was that these represented the Greek letter for delta, which is a triangle, and there's two of them to represent the brothers being together. As delta is D, so two Ds, two brothers.
Mm-hmm. There's that delta again.
Yep.
They're making a comeback.
Here. This here is a 1964 Plymouth Valley. Similar to the Coupe over there, this was never driven in the winter, so like it, it's also in great condition. And on the side opposite it, unless specified otherwise, Isaac used all these tools to restore any car you see that was donated by him, including a massive wrench in the middle.
Yeah, got some Fordsons up here.
Mm-hmm.
Everything a mechanic needed back in the day. Oh, are those snap-ons? Are those actual snap-ons down here? I can't tell.
I'm not a mechanic myself, so I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. If I had a flashlight or something. Snap-ons came up with something like that. That's what I was wondering. Man, this would be almost worth it to bring, yeah.
Isaac did not have a lot of electricity, so instead of relying on machinery like that, he had to be very hands-on and have a massive set of tools to do the job.
Mm-hmm. Some of us mechanics are still like that. Oh.
On the side opposite here, speaking of Isaac, this is a 1915 Maxwell car. He restored and rode in on this on opening day. Pretty stylish entrance.
Nice.
This here's another Hotmobile. And this here is a 14 Briscoe. As I like to call it, the Cyclops. I like to see more cars made like this nowadays, but I feel like doing that would violate several hundred traffic laws.
Well, if you put like lights down here, two on the sides, then it should be okay.
Yeah,
Then it's just your high beam.
But then it'd be the triclops.
Well, mind you, there's already lights there,
Yeah,
so
they're tiny.
that works. Yeah, exactly. That's all you need.
Yeah. I'll never forget about this. It's a Captain's and glass cleaner. Over here is another Hearse. This one was actually a modified 1916 Overland Car. Also features gorgeous plywood carvings on the sides here.
Yeah, getting a better light here. All wood too. Look at that. Can't really see inside though.
This here's 1928 Plymouth. This is also in great condition as well, because this was used in a 90s film called For the Moment. I don't think it was a very good film, checking websites, but...
What was the name of the movie again?
For the Moment.
For the Moment.
Yeah, it's not what I ever heard of. It didn't seem to do very well on reviews either, but it surely wasn't this car's fault. It did its best.
We'll have to
Here
watch
at the
it.
Manitoba Automobile Museum have highly trained cars.
They've been everywhere.
Yep. This here is the oldest vehicle we've got on site. As you can tell, it definitely wasn't like any particular brand. It was just done by one person. Regardless, this is a 1902 Holdsman. The engine is not up front or in the back, but instead under the seat. So as you can tell, it's a modified horse carriage.
Yep.
And steering was, of course, also done with these little levers here instead of any traditional wheel. Behind it here as well are a collection of more license plates from all across Manitoba instead, starting from 1911 to more modern days like Sunny Manitoba or Friendly Manitoba. And last vehicle worth mentioning, other than that 1908 REO, band named themselves after that. This is a 1909 Metz. This thing has been set on fire twice and lived.
Set on fire twice.
Set on fire twice.
Nothing wrong with that. That's a beauty. Well, metal didn't really bend back then. It could be set on fire and just cleaned up and continue on.
True. This here's a First Nations artifacts display featuring all sorts of goods like totems, mortars, and pestles, as well as a reproduction of Custer's Last Stand on top. Which is a painting that I feel like might get flack nowadays.
Not by me.
Yeah, but you know how sensitive today's crowd is.
It all depends.
It really does.
Some are very happy. You guys have a display, and others are, well, want to change history.
And last but not least, in our back section here is a collection of firearms. Isaac owned a fair amount of these, as he was also a hunter in his spare time. Another handful of these belonged to Robert Clark, one of our previous owners. And this tiny itty-bitty pea shooter belonged to my aunt. And that concludes my tour of this back area. Are there any questions?
No, not at the moment. Although I do want to I want to run back and take a look at those spark plugs again. I want to see, because I see you got a display. I just want to see what year, see if I can see which year mine is.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I'll see you in a minute. Oh, back to the cars. Look at that. Well, I'm truly happy I stopped in here. Here's the wall of spark plugs. Now, let's see if I can see which one I own. Look at all the different designs. Some of these came back in certain designs. So far I don't see the one I got. Well, that one's very similar. That's a 3-prong, mine is a 4. I don't see these too often though. No, I do not see it. But very similar, very similar. Yeah, here's that three prong. It's about as close as we're going to get. My goodness. Well, that concludes my part of it. If you want to see more, you got to come down here.